아리랑 TV 나왔으면 좋겠습니다.
네,
컬처
alright.
프런치.
Come back, okay? All right. We'll say bye with our last song. It's 하이에서 Betrayed by the band 추다해 자지스. Bye-bye. Keep crunching.
Keep crunching.
불리러 갈 때 날 따라오너라 멀고도 험하고도 거칠은 길이로다 가다 보면 깊은 산이 있고 깊은 물이 있다 또 넘어진다 또 일어나라 모든 것이 싫다 신도 싫고 인간도 싫다 혼자 있고 싶어진다 멀리 멀리 도망가고 싶다
How to survive in Korea. Cafes. Step 1. Find a seat. Before ordering, find a seat. Laptop ID, smartphone, jacket, whatever that can mark your territory. But no bites. It's a little too big. Step 2. Pick up. We do not ask or call your name. We call out, B69번 고객님. The buzzer will vibrate when your order is ready at the counter. Wait, got your straw? Keep the top of the wrapper on. Doing this is more hygienic. Step 3. Cafe etiquette. If you need to use your laptop, find a seat next to a socket. No extra charge for using electricity. But if you're staying over 3 hours, how about ordering another drink or dessert? Step 4. Last bite standing. There's a mysterious custom in Korea. The last bite standing. When there's about 1 bite left of that cake, nobody will go for it. You might be tempted, but don't be hasty. Right before you get up, take the last piece saying that you simply can't waste food, or just leave it. It will save a few calories. Did you survive at the cafe? Did someone behind the counter catch your eye? Go for the same drink every single day.
오늘도 아이스 말차 라떼 드실 거죠?
You might make an impression.
Millennial and Gen Zs are reshaping the world. News generation shares their fresh perspectives on what's trending now. From global developments to everyday culture, we're diving into the stories that matter. This is News Generation.
Introducing Korean broadcast content that you won't be able to stop watching. For weary modern souls, Dr. Romantic, the quirky genius doctor of Puldam Hospital, prescribes heartwarming tales of humanity. A couple together for 7 years sees their rose-tinted glasses shatter. Can they keep their relationship alive? Discover the raw stories of youth, work, and love. Beyond what social media can show, experience the vibrant Korea through its hidden gems. Mama, the ultimate K-pop festival for global fans. Find your star in a feast of trendy music and electrifying performances. Now, the whole world enjoys it together.
The moment we wear it, our spirits lift. It helps us grow strong in body and in mind. As we wear it, we learn patience and respect. The belt system motivates students to strive harder and continue growing. This uniform shapes movement into grace and turns performance into something thrilling. Now, embraced around the world, Taekwondo shares our culture, philosophy, and values with pride and spirit. Though it may seem simple, this uniform holds your passion and your journey. It belongs to Taekwondo. Wear the extraordinary. Be with Taekwondo.
Amid continued military conflict with Iran, U.S. President Donald Trump has said Washington has knocked out many Iranian naval and air targets. He also said the U.S. Navy will escort tankers through the Strait of Hormuz if necessary, after Iran warned they would attack any vessels trying to pass through the key oil choke point. The South Korean government has evacuated Korean nationals and ethnic Koreans from Iran and Israel to neighboring countries. 24 people in Iran traveled by bus to Turkmenistan, while in Israel, 113 were evacuated to Egypt. President Lee Jae-myung, who's on a state visit to the Philippines, met his counterpart Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and agreed to strengthen cooperation on nuclear power, critical minerals, and the defense industry. Hello and thanks for joining us on Arirang News. We begin in the Middle East, where the United States and Israel continue their battle with Iran. U.S. President Donald Trump says he's eradicated Iranian forces, while Iran says it'll continue to fight. Our Park News starts us off.
U.S. attacks on Iran continue as President Donald Trump says Iran's been knocked out.
They have no Navy, it's been knocked out. They have no Air Force, it's been knocked out. They have no air detection, that's been knocked out. Their radar has been knocked out. And just about everything's been knocked out.
Speaking during a meeting with Germany's chancellor at the White House on Tuesday, he also said Tehran's missile stockpiles are rapidly declining and that Iran would have attacked first if the U.S. and Israel hadn't acted. Trump also spoke about rising oil prices caused by the crisis, saying they would fall to levels even lower than before once operations are over. On Truth Social, Trump said Washington is willing to provide political risk insurance and guarantees at a reasonable price, adding that the U.S. Navy would escort tankers if necessary to allow the free flow of global energy supplies. This comes as Iran warned it would attack any vessels attempting to cross the Strait of Hormuz, where around 20% of the world's oil shipments pass. Trump also raised concerns that Iran's next leader could be even worse than the previous one, saying that would be the worst-case scenario. According to Iran's Fars news agency, the Assembly of Experts, the constitutional body responsible for selecting Iran's supreme leader, has been meeting virtually, adding that the body is in its final stages of selecting a new supreme leader. According to the New York Times, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's son, Mojtaba Khamenei, has emerged as the leading candidate to be the successor. Meanwhile, Iranian officials also spoke about their determination to keep fighting.
Now it is time to fight and defend our country, and anything that attempts to distract us or lead us astray will be rejected.
The U.S. consulate in Dubai was set on fire late Tuesday night after being struck by a suspected Iranian drone. Iranian media reported that the headquarters of the Assembly of Experts collapsed on Tuesday following U.S. and Israeli attacks. The Israel Defense Forces also said its Air Force destroyed a secretive Iranian nuclear site near Tehran on Tuesday. With tensions escalating in the Middle East, attention is now on how long the conflict may last. 박건우, Arirang News.
And South Korea has evacuated about 140 nationals and ethnic Koreans from Iran and Israel to neighboring countries as tensions escalate in the Middle East. Seoul says it's preparing additional measures for stranded travelers, including the possible deployment of military transport aircraft. Our Lee Seung-jae has more.
South Korea's foreign ministry says about 140 South Koreans and ethnic Koreans have safely evacuated from Iran and Israel to neighboring countries. According to the ministry on Tuesday, 24 people in Iran, including South Korean nationals, departed Tehran early Tuesday aboard buses arranged by the Korean embassy. After traveling east and staying overnight at a stopover, they crossed the border Wednesday evening and safely entered Turkmenistan. The evacuees include Korean residents, several embassy staff and their family members, as well as some Iranian nationals who are relatives of Korean citizens. Among those who left Iran were Iranian women's national volleyball team coach Lee Do-hee and footballer Lee Gi-jae, who plays for an Iranian club. Meanwhile, 66 others in Israel were evacuated to Egypt. They departed Tel Aviv and Jerusalem on embassy-arranged buses, with additional short-term visitors joining them at the border, bringing the total to 113 evacuees. They have safely cleared the Israel-Egypt border crossing and will travel to Cairo, with support from embassy officials and a rapid response team dispatched from Seoul. The Foreign Ministry says it will continue exploring additional evacuation options if needed, and stressed it remains committed to ensuring the safety of South Korean nationals in the region. Prime Minister Kim Min-seok has also instructed officials to prepare measures for short-term travelers in the Middle East who are stranded due to airport closures, suggesting that military transport aircraft could be deployed if necessary.
I ask that you thoroughly prepare guidance for short-term visitors returning home, provide consular assistance, and ensure transportation plans are in place in case of emergencies.
The Defense Ministry says it's preparing to immediately deploy military transport aircraft if the government requests support. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
A sell-side circuit breaker was triggered on the KOSPI for a second straight day as the benchmark index tumbled following the outbreak of war between the United States and Iran. The Korea Exchange issued the measure just 6 minutes after the market opened this morning, suspending program sell orders for 5 minutes following a sharp drop in the KOSPI 200 futures index. The index was down 6.04% from the previous close when the measure kicked in. During the session, the KOSPI opened lower at 5,592.59 and briefly fell below the 5,500 level. Major stocks including Samsung Electronics, SK Hynix, and Hyundai Motor slid sharply, weighing heavily on the index. And South Korea's currency briefly weakened past the key 1,500 won per US dollar mark overnight, its first breach of that level since the global financial crisis in 2009. The won fell to around 1,506 won for $1 shortly after the New York Stock Exchange opened Tuesday, as the US dollar strengthened amid ongoing US-Israel military operations against Iran. The currency later recovered to trade back below the 1,500 level. The last time the won reached that threshold was March 2009, when the global financial crisis pushed the Korean currency close to 1,600 won per dollar. Over in the Philippines, Presidents Lee Jae-myung and Ferdinand Marcos Jr. have agreed to expand cooperation on nuclear power, critical minerals, and the defense industry. Our Blue House correspondent Yoon Jung-min reports from Manila.
The summit in Manila began with an official welcome for the South Korean first couple with the Korean folk song Arirang sung by a local choir. Tuesday's talks between Presidents Lee Jae-myung and Ferdinand Marcos Jr. coincided with the anniversary of when the two countries established diplomatic relations 77 years ago. The leaders noted the sacrifice of troops sent from the Philippines during the Korean War.
대한민국의 자유와 평화를 위해서 목숨을 바쳐 함께 싸워준 우리 필리핀 참전 용사들에게 존경과 감사의 마음을 전합니다.
That bond, cemented in solidarity during very difficult times, continues to guide our strategic partnership.
Building upon the friendship, a pledge was made for cooperation in the defense industry, as well as promising sectors such as nuclear energy, critical minerals, shipbuilding, and AI.
필리핀 바탄 원전 재개 타당성 조사 결과 및 신규 원전 사업 도입 협력 MOU를 기초로 양국은 최적의 원전 협력 파트너로 자리매김하게 될 것입니다.
I expressed appreciation for the Republic of Korea's invaluable assistance and contributions to the modernization of our armed forces and strengthening of our Coast Guard, the investments that help revive our shipbuilding industry.
MOUs were signed for cooperation on a range of areas, including digital technology, science, Korean language, and cultural exchanges. The leaders also addressed peace on the Korean peninsula and the conflict in the Middle East.
영내 정세와 함께 최근 중동의 상황에 대해서 논의하였고 중동의 안정과 평화가 조속히 회복되기를 소망하였습니다.
We both recognize the growing uncertainty in geopolitical developments. It is why we agreed on the need to firmly and consistently uphold a rules-based order governed by international law.
The South Korean first couple was later hosted by their Philippine counterparts for a state dinner. Top office officials say President Lee's trip is also aimed at reaching out to the broader ASEAN region at a time of increased global uncertainties. Yoon Jung-min, Arirang News, Manila.
The latest smartphones are becoming increasingly packed full of AI-integrated hardware and software features. Our business correspondent Park Junan takes us to the MWC 2026 trade show in Barcelona to cover the names that drew visitors' attention.
The Mobile World Congress 2026 in Barcelona is showcasing the rapid evolution of smartphones, with AI-integrated devices captivating tech enthusiasts from around the world. Among the standout attractions was from Chinese company Honor, which showed off its robot phone. The most creative feature was its attached robot camera, which includes an interactive AI camera module that tracks the user's movements, engages in conversation, and responds to requests such as playing a song while dancing.
Could you play me a song?
After listening to my question, it played an upbeat song and moved its camera module, dancing along to the music. The next stop was South Korea's biggest tech company, Samsung Electronics' latest smartphone S26 series, which features its Galaxy AI.
Smartphones are built to be smart, but with AI features, they could become much smarter.
The company emphasized advanced features like personalized suggestions, enhanced reminders, and agentic AI tools. One feature that got a lot of attention was the privacy display on the S26 Ultra, which limits the viewing angle to prevent others from peeking, made possible by controlling light diffusion at the hardware level. Yet amid the excitement over these AI capabilities, questions arise about whether their premium pricing truly justifies the innovations and whether these capabilities meaningfully improve daily life. The Galaxy S26 Ultra starts at around $1,300 in the US, while China's ultra-premium lineups cost up to $2,000 to $3,000. This contrasts with American tech giant Apple, which took the opposite approach with its March announcement of the more affordable iPhone 17e, starting at $599.
So AI is the future, and we really have to adopt it because it will make our lives really, really easy. But it's very important that we are offering solutions for everyone and that we can bring value to people that are willing to spend 200 or are willing to spend more.
The takeaway from MWC 2026 is clear. AI is becoming a visible partner. And from trifold designs that expand screen space to cinema-grade lenses developed through collaborations with luxury camera brands, hardware is being designed with AI in mind. 박준환, Arirang News, Barcelona.
A museum in the shanty towns, also called Dal동nae of Incheon, has had 2 years of extensive renovations completed and has officially reopened its doors. It's attempting to preserve the history and memories of the portside neighborhood that over time has disappeared. Our Eunjin tells us more.
The Songyondong and Songnimdong neighborhoods were once representative shantytowns in Incheon. AI imagery has been used to recreate what their village looked like as it formed on Sudoguksan Hill with the opening of Incheon Port and as it weathered the Korean War. This neighborhood, whose name means Waterworks Bureau in Korean, was the source of Incheon's tap water. The Sudoguksan Moon Village Museum features a recreation of the village as it appeared in 1971, a time when its population peaked with 3,000 households living in close proximity. Exhibits also include meticulously detailed replicas from businesses from that era, such as a cotton spinning shop run by refugees from Eunul, Hwanghae Province, a region then famous for cotton, as well as a barber shop and a coal briquette shop.
It makes me realize, wow, people actually lived in places like this back then.
If I had lived there, I think I would have struggled as much as my grandmother did.
The museum, now located in what is a modern apartment complex, has reopened its doors after the completion of a 2-year expansion project.
We have significantly increased the number of exhibition halls and space for children's experiential learning programs. With the addition of underground parking and other such facilities, the museum has been reborn as a cultural space for families.
Called the Sudoguksan Museum of Housing and Living before renovations, the museum now features a donations gallery composed entirely of items brought in by local residents, as well as a new children's exhibition hall. There is also a chronological display of household appliances, including TVs, radios, and sewing machines that were actually used in homes.
The household appliances are sectioned chronologically from the opening of the port through the 1990s. We created this space to show the daily lives and stories of families during that period.
With its new name, the Sudoguksan Moon Village Museum, the museum opened its doors to the general public on March 1st. Eunjin, Arirang News.
This is The World Now, bringing you everything you need to know from around the globe. The Israeli military on Tuesday said it destroyed a secret underground nuclear headquarters in Tehran. The Israel Defense Forces identified the target as Min Zadai, a facility they claim Iran used to develop nuclear weapons knowledge. The strike follows the recent killing of Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and several top military commanders. Iran has been making efforts to move more of its weapons development underground since June 2025. President Donald Trump on Tuesday threatened to sever all trade ties with Spain after Madrid blocked U.S. warplanes from using its military bases for strikes on Iran. The U.S. president ordered the Treasury Department to cut off all dealings with Madrid, citing a Supreme Court ruling to justify a full trade embargo. This comes after Spain's socialist leadership forced a relocation of 15 U.S. aircraft from military bases in southern Spain. Trump further criticized Spain for failing to meet NATO's increased defense spending targets of 5% of GDP. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz joined the pressure campaign, urging Spain to comply with regional security obligations. In the U.S., the father of a teenager responsible for a high school massacre has been convicted of second-degree murder. A jury in the state of Georgia found that Colin Gray was criminally responsible for the September 2024 shooting at Appalachia High School after he gave his son an assault rifle. Prosecutors proved that Gray purchased the weapon as a Christmas gift, despite knowing his son's deteriorating mental health and obsession with past school shooters. Gray now faces up to 30 years in prison. 2 students and 2 teachers were killed in the attack. In Iran, panic-driven investors moved millions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency out of Iranian exchanges immediately after U.S. and Israeli airstrikes on Saturday. Blockchain researchers at Chainalysis and Elliptic tracked over $10 million in outflows between Saturday and Monday as the conflict intensified. In the single hour following the first reports of explosions, funds leaving Iranian platforms spiked 8-fold, hitting nearly $3 million. Experts say the surge is a combination of capital flight by ordinary citizens and state-aligned actors attempting to shield assets from geopolitical risk. Iran's annual crypto volume is estimated to be up to $11 billion. Chu Ji-han, Arirang News.
We are expecting some fine early spring weather today, as long as we are aware of significant temperature difference between morning and afternoon. And some of the inland areas had sub-zero morning temperatures, but most parts of Korea will have sunny skies and clean air during the day. However, dust in the air will gradually build up from the late afternoon, with dust from overseas blowing into the country. West of the central regions will see bad dust levels lingering into tomorrow morning. And this afternoon, Seoul will be getting up to 11 degrees Celsius. Daegu, Gyeongju, Busan will be topping out at 13 degrees. Then tomorrow will be even milder during the day. However, rain will begin tomorrow night in the central regions and Jeollado, gradually spreading nationwide the following day. And after the rain system moves out, morning temperatures will drop below freezing in most again. That's all we have for today's noon edition of Arirang News. Thank you for watching. We'll be back at 5 p.m. Korea time. Stay tuned.
To set the facts straight. Get Korea right.
안녕하세요. 방크에서 활동하는 박지은 연구원입니다. 한글은 600년의 역사를 가진 우리나라 고유의 문자인데요. 잘 모르는 분도 많고 또 잘못된 정보를 접한 분도 꽤 있더라고요. 사이버 외교사절 딴 방크의 일원으로서 제가 한글에 대한 올바른 정보를 전달해 드릴게요. 한글은 조선 4대 왕인 세종대왕이 1443년에 창제한 글자예요.